Upon returning to the US for the first time in years, Michael Jackson was protected by a core team of only 3 bodyguards, including Bill Whitfield, author of Remember the Time Protecting Michael Jackson in His Final Days. Discover how the team dealt with sticky situations and death threats, and learn what Michael Jackson was really like as a person and as a father in this exclusive interview.
We shielded his kids from a lot of stuff. They had no idea what was going on. I've often said I protected him in life, and I'll continue to protect him in death. He was a good man. You doing personal security, you handle personal matters. I did receive a call from one of his managers or his manager, and they asked, where were we? And before I answered, I said to Mr. Jackson, he said, Bill, don't tell them nothing. They want to know something, they can ask me. Is this the real Michael Jackson? I really said it to myself a few times. I felt it's someone playing a joke on me.
So, Bill Whitfield, Michael Jackson's personal bodyguard, for what were the years you were working for him?
From when he entered back into the country, 2006, up until his passing.
Amazing. So that's a period of his life we don't really know that much about, and your wonderful book, Remember the Time, really delved deep into that. But
Yes.
To get started, I mean, as you began working for Michael, what do you think are the biggest things that struck you about the difference between the MJ you saw on TV and the real man? Were you actively looking for like elements of the persona portrayed in the media, or did you kind of put that to the back of your mind?
Well, certainly, like everyone, I've heard and seen some of the things in the tabloids of that he was possibly involved in, and so when the opportunity came to work with him, but I've always been a Michael Jackson fan. You know, I grew up a Jackson 5 fan. So, I certainly continued on and became a fan of Michael Jackson. So he was probably the only entertainer that I found myself starstruck, and I've worked around a lot of different celebrities. So, you as a fan, you don't want to believe all the negative things that are out there in the tabloids. You don't want to believe it. But when the opportunity came for me to work directly with him, closely with him, I couldn't help but find myself looking or just visually paying attention to just everything more so. Hey, I was in security, so you certainly do pay attention to everything that's going on in the surroundings, everything on the outside going on of the perimeter. But I found myself also paying attention to who he was, listening how he spoke to other people, how he spoke to his kids, just how he carried himself, how he treated us. So you look at all these things, but what you in some way, shape, or form, you want to be convinced that he was not the man or the person that people, tabloids, depicted him as. And I was happy, even to this day, that he was not that guy. He was not that guy. If he was anything remotely close to who people, how they talked about him in the tabloids, I certainly wouldn't have worked for him. Being a father myself, I certainly wouldn't have worked for him. So I just, those are things I looked for, just the personal side of this gentleman, that I want to be convinced that he's not only who people say he is, but I also need a reason to continue on this security detail.
Yeah, totally. So, in what ways would you say he was different? Like, what was Michael Jackson really like at that point in his life?
For me, having been asked that question before, just a regular person to me. Yeah, he was a regular guy, certainly trying to weave in and out of society and with some form of normalcy, but because of who he was and his status, it was certainly hard for him to really just be out in the world as we do on a daily basis.
Yeah.
So he just was a normal person to me. I mean, different, absolutely. I mean, his background is different than anyone's.
Yeah.
You know, so he's going to be different. He was not exposed to everything that we are exposed to on a regular basis. He just was not. He wasn't a TV person. He didn't watch live TV. Um, so I mean, other than certainly ensuring that his kids were well kept, well maintained, well mannered, well educated. Those are the things that he ensured. So I'm seeing just a normal person. I'm seeing a
Yeah.
normal father, normal routine. So, um, but he definitely was not the person
Yeah.
that in the tabloids that people so much talked about. So, I mean, I'll certainly easily weeded that out. That just wasn't that guy.
Yeah. So, on that first day that you worked for Michael, you said in your book that you weren't initially planning on staying overnight.
Right.
Can you talk me through what was going through your head that night? You know, having seen on the TV that sort of that carnage, the mayhem that people caused trying to get close to Michael Jackson, and here you are kind of protecting him. I mean, you didn't really know you were going to be in that situation. Did you
Right.
adjust to being like on edge?
Well, having been doing personal security for some time,
Yeah.
I'm familiar with doing a security detail, um, pick up point A, transport point B, stay a few hours, and go home. I've been in situations where I've stayed overnight, but this was Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
This is a whole different level to anything I've ever done. And I've done quite a few security details for other high profile celebrities, even presidential candidates. Again, I've seen the onrush of people, paparazzis, uh, whether it's fans, supporters, or just maybe even enemies.
Yeah.
I've seen the onslaught of the attention he brought on TV. You know, that night was really a world spin for me that unlike no other. And because yes, I understood having been doing security for some time, I paid attention to other security people, personnel, whether it's on TV, videos, training videos, um, and knowing the level of security that certain celebrities need, realizing I was the only one security at the point, a time that I stayed at the house for the first time, or that first night he came back into the country. Even to I be honest, even to this day, I still think about it, and like
Yeah.
you can't wrap your mind around just okay, I got this.
That's a
No,
lot of responsibility
it's
there. Yeah.
a lot, and I think Michael Jackson came back into the country after all the trials and all that things that was going on. And there were people out here that they were fans, there were supporters, but I'm sure
Mm.
I've came across there were people that did not like him. So in security, you have to be mindful of everyone, whether it's a fan, supporter, and of those that disagreed and disliked him, because anyone was capable of anything.
Yeah.
But realizing I'm on a detail with Michael Jackson and his kids are just several feet away from me and being the only one on point at the time, it was not it was not it was not easy to fathom. It really wasn't.
Yeah. Mm.
But oftentimes I said to myself, wait a minute, it's quiet, there's no one here. Is this the real Michael Jackson? I really said it to myself a few times. I
Really?
felt it's someone playing a joke on me. I really believed
Yeah.
it. Because there was no fanfare. There was no bunch of
Mm.
people. He didn't have a huge entourage.
Because
Um,
nobody knew.
yeah, nobody knew. Oh, definitely nobody knew. I like to believe no one knew at the
Yeah.
time. Um, but also, I didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
I did not. It was quick. I did not know what was going on. I'm thinking, you know, is a security team going to show up tomorrow? Um, are there going to be a bunch of nannies and cooks and maids and servants going to show up tomorrow? No. So it took a couple days, if not a couple weeks, to really adjust
Yeah.
to to this.
I
This was
bet.
different. This was different. This was different.
Yeah. And so, in your book, you talk a lot about these kind of people in Michael's circle who are all almost like fighting for power. From what you saw, how powerful was Michael Jackson? So, to what extent do you think he was aware of these people in his circle trying to take advantage of him?
Based on like a lot of his communication had went through emails, and at the time he did not have an email. So I gave my personal email to his attorneys, managers, anyone that needed to reach him or send him something via email. He didn't even
Yeah.
have a phone. I mean, that's certainly at his choice. The phone he had was that he often used was my phone.
Mm.
Someone would call him. Certainly, I was screening calls to make sure who the person that was calling was, who they were, and making sure whatever they wanted, it needed to they need to speak to him. Otherwise, I would relay the information. So, as for people around him and in his management circle, attorney circle, I've seen a lot of emails come through talking about each other, that he shouldn't work for that one. Oh, don't listen to that one. Back and forth, managers and attorneys.
Yeah.
So it was. I seen a lot of that, and hey, I passed the emails off to him. Sometimes I would print them out, which I oftentimes I would print them out and then give them to him to read. Um, I believe he was aware of individuals in his circle, those that meant well or those that did not.
Yeah.
I certainly listen. He's been in business longer than everybody, so he was a very smart man, very wise. Um, he paid attention because he would question it sometimes, or just he'll have a conversation with someone on the phone, and while we're driving in the vehicles, and have a long conversation. Sometimes it's on speakerphone where I can hear everything. And after he would end his call, he would ask me. He said, "Bill, what did you think?" I said, "Sir, what do you mean? Do you think that that person sound trustworthy?" And there were times when he spoke to individuals and I gave my opinion that I said something seemed off. And
Yeah.
he'll say, yeah, he didn't give me good vibes or give me good feelings. So he was
He was
aware
in
of
tune
certain
with that.
people. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Again, very smart man. Very smart. He knew um,
Yeah.
what was going on. But I think business wise, as long as certain individuals did what he needed them to do, instead of otherwise, then whether he can trust them or not, but he knew how to manage and ensure the individuals that he worked with or worked for him did what they were supposed to do. But
Yeah.
yeah, we had situations that some people did not do what they were supposed to do, and his way of terminating people was he would just cease all communication. Because he would some mornings that he'd get in the vehicles and he would tell me, Bill, if this person calls, do not take any of their calls anymore. Do not transfer any of their calls to me. I don't need to speak to this person anymore. And these were people that he was speaking to for a while,
Yeah,
especially when I came in.
right. That makes sense. So, many fans do see Michael, though, as being perfect. But we know that a lot of, like, yes people surrounded him, though. So, did anybody within the team ever question Michael's ideas and requests? Like, in your book, you stated that Michael would sometimes threaten to fire you, like if you told Raymond, his publicist, his movements. Was that
Right.
like, did that feel like a serious threat or just like a motivation for you to follow his orders? You know what I mean?
Uh, I took it more as a motivational, but
Yeah,
because the situation of the way it went down, I received a call. We were in the vehicles, and I did receive a call from one of his managers or his manager, and they asked, "Where were we?" And before I answered, I said to Mr. Jackson that your manager wants to know where we are and where we're going. He said, "Bill, don't tell them nothing. They want to know something, they can ask me. Don't you guys tell them nothing. If you guys tell any of them anything about what I'm doing, I will fire you." So that just
right.
told me, I didn't take it as a threat. I took it
No,
as he's serious about not wanting to um, bow down or have to tell someone his whereabouts.
yeah,
They didn't, he didn't report to them. They reported to him.
yeah.
So, what he did and chose to do and wanted to go, we took him everywhere and anywhere he wanted to go. So
He's the boss.
absolutely, and that's just what we called him.
Yeah.
So yes, he was the boss.
Now, on a lighter note, I've heard many people say that even when Michael would wear disguises, he'd still keep his iconic sparkly white socks. Is that true? And do you have any other fondest funny moments of Michael?
I can certainly say that anytime that we've tried to disguise him, no, he did not do the White Sox sparkly. No,
Right.
no, not during any disguises. That would certainly be a dead giveaway.
Yeah.
Um, but no, he certainly went as
Full
far
on. Yeah.
undetected as possible. But
Yeah.
it's so crazy that we found out that no matter what disguises we tried, because we've tried several, some people just had an inclination. That's Michael Jackson. And we would always wonder, I'll say to ourselves, how the hell do they know? I mean, it's just whether it was his walk, his aura,
Mm.
whatever it was. People, I don't want to say they knew it was him. They had an idea. Damn, that looks like Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
They weren't sure, but just for me to hear them say his name, like, I mean, why can't they name someone else? Oh, that looked like so and so. I mean, his
Yeah.
face was covered, his whole body was covered, big jacket on with a hoodie, a scarf around his face, sunglasses, gloves, um, jeans, boots. I don't know what it was, but some people just
Yeah.
have said, that looked like Michael Jackson.
Something about him.
Yeah, there's something about him, and it was
Yeah.
just I never understood it. I really
No.
didn't, because if I took a step back and looked at him as he was walking, I I couldn't tell who he was,
Yeah.
But I only knew who he was because I helped get him dressed,
Yeah.
So people just knew.
So, when high pressure situations arose, would you say that Michael was particularly distressed, or after so many years in the industry, was that his normal?
As time went on, I've gotten to know him a little better, paying attention to his moves,
Mm.
seeing him walk throughout the house 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, checking doors, knowing the security team was right outside
Yeah.
on the property, but he still did this. I think he became more security conscious.
Yeah.
Um, he's been through a lot. I mean, the whole trial, being arrested, and forcing him to have his house searched.
Mm.
That certainly played a role in adding to his security safety awareness. There's times that we would be walking, whether we're in a mall or just driving. He would question, he would look beyond us, beyond our circle. Bill, pay attention to that person right there, the one in the black coat or the blue hat. And he's seeing the things that certainly as security team, we're looking for anything that looks not well. But he's doing it too, you
Yeah.
know, and
He's not
that
relaxed.
right. So um, having spoken to people that's been with him for years, um, and they would certainly educate me more on who he was and how he was prior to all this stuff.
Yeah.
And they said it has changed him, and I've started to see a different individual than I think a lot of people were used to seeing. I mean,
Yeah.
he was, you know, someone accused of a very heinous crime, and some people continue to believe in his guilt, but that's because they don't take the time to get to really know who he really was.
Yeah.
Um, but then again, some people, I like to believe, you really didn't have to take the time to get to know who he was, but take the time to pay attention, whether it's via TVs, listen to his interviews,
Mm.
listen to him speak, look at who he helps, how much he helps people. That's not a monster. That's
Mm.
not what monsters do.
Yeah.
And that's what I got from it. I mean, the way he spoke to people. I think his level of security awareness certainly was heightened. He had kids now.
Yeah.
There were threats that we received. We would never tell him about the threats that we were aware of. But his managers and his lawyers, they would get threats too to their officers, and they would tell
Really?
him. Oh yes,
Right.
they would tell, and we would be so pissed.
Mm.
And that one, sometimes they did tell us about it first, but we didn't share it with him.
Mm.
And there was times that he questioned us, Bill, why you didn't tell me about the threat we received from, you know, I would tell him I didn't want him to worry, um, that we either looked into it to let it, it was not as credible, but he often did insist anytime we hear something, we must tell him.
Yeah.
And that was hard.
Yeah.
And and even though he did tell us that, there were things that we did keep from him.
Mm.
Um, so he was certainly aware, but the
Yeah.
threats to his kids was something that I think got him a little more heightened his awareness while
Yeah.
out in public, or even just being at home. But
Totally.
yeah, it was something that mattered to him, and he took very serious.
Yeah. Now, would everybody introduced to Michael be, in awe of the King of Pop? Or would some people, like, maybe try and play it cool, or even just be indifferent? Because Michael had an affinity for, like, the elderly and children, because they didn't really see him as this King of Pop. Did you see anything like that?
Everybody that I've seen that whether it was an arranged meeting for them to come see him, some business that was going to be taking place, or just a meet and greet. There were several celebrities that we did arrange for him to meet with because they were certainly going to do some music collaborations.
Yeah.
And one particular celebrity that did come meet him. I'll name him. I mean, it was Neo, for example. The night Neo came to see him, made arrangements for him to meet up with Mr. Jackson in New York City while we were staying back east. And we were outside the apartment where Mr. Jackson was, and when Neo came out the car, he got out the car, and he first, before he went inside, he was he was a nervous wreck.
Mm.
I've seen it in him. I've seen it, and then he looked over at me and he said, "Is Michael Jackson really in that house? You know, is he really in there?" And we was like, "Yes, sir." And then he looked at me. Then he looked at uh, Javon. You know, we're in suits. We got the earpieces, and he said, "Yeah, this must be Michael Jackson," because he said, "Because you guys something like y'all look real serious." So he's like, "Yeah, this must be Michael Jackson," because he didn't, I mean, I don't think he was 100
Yeah.
percent convinced that he was about to meet Michael Jackson,
Yeah.
because Michael Jackson did like his music. He liked his voice. Um, so when Neil was inside with him for about maybe 45 minutes, and when he came out, he asked the question again. Yo, was that really Michael Jackson? Yeah. Because he probably didn't pay too much attention to what was going on in there.
Mm.
Whether they were supposed to talk in collaboration, music. I think he was just stuck. And I've seen it with other people. I've seen it with several people that met him for the first time or haven't seen him in years. A lot of people are stuck. And I watched their faces, their demeanor, and these are celebrities, athletes, political individuals, millionaires, billionaires. They were stuck when they met him.
Yeah.
They were stuck. I mean, I was stuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was on that. Wow, it's a wow moment that you
Yeah.
that your internal is saying wow, like oh shit,
Mm.
but you're trying to keep that your
Keep it together.
composure, professionalism. You're trying, and so yeah, I've seen it with several people.
Yeah.
Uh, I could not believe or even understand how this one man affects people the way he does. It was
Mm.
wow, wow. I mean, and again, I've worked with several other celebrities before.
Yeah.
Never seen nothing like this, and this was like, this is yeah, this is going to be one of those journeys. I already
Yeah.
knew. I already knew this is going to be. But I have often questioned myself: do I really want to do this?
Mm.
Because this is going to be a challenge. This is going to be a challenge because he's so kind, he's so giving that how do you protect that? How do you protect
Yeah.
him from the people that you think you need to protect him from? But these are the people he's extending his hand to. So we just
I
had to
see.
be as cautious as we could, mindful as we could, pay attention to everything and everybody. It was not easy
Yeah.
by no means. So th- as much as he loved his fan base, and we seen that, we felt it. Um, it was odd for us when he would make the statement to us, Bill, be nice to my fans. Be nice to my fans. Without them, there would be no me. But on the flip side of that coin, he would say, I want you guys to be careful because it was a fan that killed John Lennon. Oh my God.
Right. Yeah.
So it was a task. It was a
Yeah.
journey. It was unlike no other, but
Totally.
we understood.
Yeah.
We understood. We
Yeah.
understood. So, we talked, and Mr. Jackson and I and the team, we talked. We had conversations about life, about our kids, about women, places to travel the world. He would mention places, if you've never been here, you should really go.
Mm.
So we talked. We had some real general conversations,
Normal
Uh,
conversations.
Normal conversation, absolutely.
Yeah.
Normal conversation. We tried to bring as much normalcy to his world
Yeah.
and even our own world, because everything that we was dealing with him
Yeah.
going out and about, this is not normal to us.
Yeah.
So when we have an opportunity to have a normal conversation, we did that.
Yeah.
Driving in the car. Sometimes we were stuck in traffic for hours at a time. So we would talk, just about everything and anything.
Yeah.
So
I mean, could you ever talk to fans and, say that you worked for Michael? Because obviously there was some sort of confidentiality agreement. But how many, like, friends and family as well knew?
a lot of my family, a lot of my friends knew the type of business that I was in.
Yeah.
I've done security, several high profile individuals before, traveled, overseeing security operations for different award shows. So they knew the business that I was in, and I didn't talk about it because it was business to me.
Yeah.
It's nothing that I bragged about, gloated about. It was just my job.
Yeah.
Um, when I started working for Mr. Jackson, I didn't tell anyone um,
Mm.
because I knew if or when I did have that conversation with certain individuals, no one's going to believe it,
Yeah.
and I didn't want to find myself spending time at trying to convince you.
Yeah.
When the an article came out in People magazine, I think Halle Berry was on the cover, and it's a 2007 article. We had taken Paris to the Wynn Hotel for her birthday. First went to a restaurant there. I think it was the Wing Lee restaurant. We took her there, and walking out of the Wynn, walking down the hallway of the Wynn, Mr. Jackson, taking her shopping. There was a lot of people in the mall that day,
Mm.
and there were several pictures taken of us escorting Mr. Jackson throughout the mall. And that one picture hit the centerfold of People magazine. And when it came out, I didn't know about it. I had
Right.
people calling me screaming on the phone, you in People magazine. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Because one thing about our security and our security detail, we try to avoid the paparazzi as much and as best as
Yeah.
possible. Fan base wasn't worried about that. It's the paparazzis that would really go above and beyond trying to get certain shots and really
Mm.
evading our personal space. So we avoided them the best we could. Um, but that day, there was a lot of people in the mall, a lot of tourists.
Yeah.
So I think that picture was taken. I know that picture was taken that day. And when I got the call that it was in the People's Magazine, I was like, wow. I went out and bought a few copies. But yeah, I
From
mean, I
then
had,
on, people knew.
yeah, from then on,
Yeah.
I had people calling me, why you didn't tell us or what? You don't know how I get down. That's not how I get down. I don't, but yeah, so people knew at that time.
Yeah.
But, you know, I didn't talk to fans. Some fans that did come by the house in Vegas, I would go out there and talk to them, just about whatever. And they would ask general questions like, how is he doing?
Yeah.
Does he need anything? um, some would certainly drop off packages, letters that we always scanned and went through ourselves first,
Yeah.
making sure it was nothing that, because we tried to protect his peace
Mm.
as well. So not giving him something that was threatening
Yeah.
or mean. Certainly there were some letters that mentioned certain things that he never would see,
Yeah.
especially when it came to his kids.
Mm.
Um, but people would drop off toys and teddy bears
Yeah.
for the kids, and we would give those to the kids. And
Lots of
we
autograph requests, I'd imagine.
always an autograph request. So
Yeah.
we had several pictures that he had on hand
Hmm.
Several pictures that he would have on hand, and he would sign these pictures. Sometimes people had their own items they'd want him to sign, so we would take those inside to him
Yeah.
to sign. Um,
Yeah.
like our interaction with the fan base was good,
Hmm.
but it was different for me in the beginning because this was scary for me.
Yeah.
I didn't know these folks. I mean, to see people camped outside in front of his house, this was different.
Yeah.
This is different for me. I've never seen this before. Yeah, this is all prior, to him mentioning anything about John Lennon, but this was all new to me.
Yeah.
Working this level of a detail, which was the highest I've ever worked, and seeing all these people, anywhere from 7, 8 at one time, but certainly was a
Yeah.
lot more than that at one time. But there were certain individuals that would be camped out in front of the house for hours.
Yeah.
This was nerve wracking to me. Like, this was new to me. I'm like, why are they out there? Why are they waiting? Like, so the times in which we did leave the property with Mr. Jackson, he would tell us to stop. And he would talk to certain individuals that he knew. And he said, oh, yeah, I remember you from, whether they were from Germany, Ireland, wherever they were from over the country. He said he remembered them.
Yeah.
And so I'm listening to
Incredible.
this and I'm like, wow, okay. And certain ones he would see, he said, oh yeah, I know her. She goes everywhere I go. Wow. This is new to me. So
Yeah.
that made more, kind of brought my shield down a little bit, that he was comfortable with these
Yeah.
individuals. So okay. So especially when you would see them on the regular,
Yeah.
you're like, okay. And which was good about some of the fans that did come and stay at be at the house on a regular basis. Any new fans that showed up, they would tell us, they would say, Bill, we don't know them.
Hmm.
Okay.
Right.
Because the majority of the fans that did come to the house, the group of them, they all knew one another,
Yeah.
or they got to know one another over time. But any new people that came up that they weren't comfortable with, they would let us know, like, Bill, we don't know that, but don't worry, we're watching them. I mean, they were a part of our security detail.
Yeah.
Okay. So, which was good,
Yeah.
which was real good.
Absolutely. Can you talk me through what it was like for you walking through Michael's former home, Neverland?
Well, I only went there one evening. He asked me to, while we were still staying in Vegas, he asked me to go there, but I went there late. It was at night. Um, I got out there about 10:30, 11 at night. Um, it was still, trashed out. Um, from what little bit I was able to see.
Yeah.
The grounds had not been taken care of. The guard at the gate that was there, when I let him know who I was, and I was going to the house to retrieve something, and he just told me, he said, "Well, be careful." Um, and at first, I didn't understand why he said that,
Yeah.
but he did tell me they're snakes. So there was again, because of the grounds hadn't been maintenance well,
Yeah.
it hasn't been any upkeep. You know, a lot of foliage started to grow,
Mm.
and so there were snakes on the property, rattlesnakes.
Yeah.
I heard them. I didn't see them, but I heard
Oof.
them. So eerie.
Yeah.
It was
Sounds
it
it.
was eerie. Um, I just felt bad. I felt having got to know him a little bit, and then to come home or come to his home and see it in disarray. It's just not
Mm.
upkept the way we would all see on magazines and TV.
Yeah.
And knowing him a little bit, it was shameful that, damn, that they did this to this man. Like,
Yeah.
wow. But he did mention he would never go back there.
So it hadn't been touched at all since the FBI were there.
No, there was no. It was that was
Wow.
since he left.
Yeah.
When he left the country, um, he wasn't going back there.
Yeah.
No,
Like the
no, he
magic
just
had been ruined.
he felt violated, as we
Right.
all would. Somebody break into your house and ransack it, you feel
Yeah.
violated,
Yeah.
and that's how he felt.
Yeah.
Because he did make the comment that that place has been contaminated by evil.
Hmm.
I mean, he said that the way they searched the place and tore things up, cut into bed, cut into the bed mattresses, and
Hmm.
broken into his safes. I mean, I you know, I having been in law enforcement, the way they searched that house, they weren't searching just for anything on the case that they was interested in. They were. I like to think the way that that scene was and the way they searched that house. This is personal.
Right.
This is personal. There's some people that really believe what was printed,
Hmm.
and they want to have their part or their share of destroying him or destroying his property.
Hmm.
This is
So it's beyond just searching,
oh
like
yeah,
it was like ripping the place apart.
yes, yes. I
Jeez.
mean, yeah, you want to look for something inside of a book, you don't tear the book up.
No.
You don't have to. That's not necessary.
Yeah.
You know. So
Before we continue with the interview, let's take a quick break to thank the sponsor of this video, Michael Jackson Market. Michael Jackson Market are a business created by passionate fans who believe that you should have access to the best quality Michael Jackson memorabilia items at a great price. They provide you with the opportunity to get unique Michael Jackson memorabilia items really, really easily. You can go to their website www.michaeljacksonmarket.com to browse their countless items and even get your hands on one of their Michael Jackson subscription boxes, which are packed with fun items. Each box comes with a custom t-shirt and 7 or 8 other items. So whether it's Michael Jackson Funko Pops, books, cups, chocolate, mini basketballs, gym bags, tote bags, washcloths, stickers, lanyards, pins, t-shirts, or even a keychain of Bubbles the Chimp, don't forget to head to www.michaeljacksonmarket.com and use code REDJACKSON for $10 off all items above $50. Again, that's code REDJACKSON for $10 off all items over $50. Thank you to Michael Jackson Market for sponsoring Red Jackson Dance for 2025. In your book, you discussed Michael's memorial. If you don't mind me asking, were you surprised by Michael's premature passing, or in a way did it feel like kind of inevitable due to the pressures you saw and demands you saw people placing upon him?
I can't honestly say that I seen something like that coming, but I did see the toll that everything going on or the life in the world in which he was in or directed. I seen the toll it took on
Yeah,
him. Um, I really seen the toll, and I felt bad. I mean, there's nothing you could do
yeah,
but feel for him, pray for him, and be there for him.
yeah,
That was it. There was nothing I could do, but I did see the toll it brought upon him. As for predicting anything, no,
yeah.
but I will say, wasn't very surprised.
Mm,
I was hurt,
yeah,
but I wasn't surprised. I wasn't
that makes
surprised.
sense. Yeah,
Yeah, I wasn't surprised. I mean, I seen it, I've heard it with my own ears, from his mouth to my ears. I've often heard him vent about everybody wants something, and everybody's belittling the other person to get what they want. You know, whether it was going to be a guitarist that was going to be part of his tour, you had 1,000 people that played the guitar that wanted in,
Hmm.
and they would do anything and everything they could to bash the other person. So I knew it was hard for him to make decisions on who, um, because I mean, for me, at that memorial, I didn't see any of those people coming around just to see if he was okay, checking on him as if he was a friend of theirs. I didn't see none of these people, so I didn't. Which being at the memorial is what inspired me to even write the book.
Yeah.
Um, Seeing all these people. I mean, when I first got there and I see almost 20, 30,000 fans, maybe more outside holding their signs. And then when I get inside, I see all these celebrities.
Yeah.
I'm like, this should be the other way around.
Yeah.
I mean, it really should. It should be the other way around. Um, because but I didn't see, certainly from the fans that came by the house and dropped off letters and teddy bears, while he was alive. Um, but all the celebrities that showed up after he passed away, they weren't around when he was alive.
Yeah.
So again, that inspired me to even write the book.
Yeah. Who was the audience you had in mind? The general public or fans?
Same people that was outside his gate,
Yeah.
his fans.
Yeah.
The same people, I hate to say, but the same people that were passing out, fainting when we was in the malls. The
Yeah.
same people that was screaming, "I love you," and he screamed back, I love you more."
Mhm.
The same people that did not get the chance to meet him that wanted to.
Yeah.
Um, I rooted for them, but I like to feel that my book has given some form of closure to some
Yeah.
people. Some form of closure for me as well, because I always wanted to feel like I could have done something. But the best thing I was able to do that I can be comfortable with myself is that anything and everything that Mr. Jackson asked me for or asked me to do, I did. And it's unfortunate that we shielded his kids from a lot of stuff. They had no idea what was going on. I mean, whether we was rushing from one hotel to another because of a threat, we didn't move as though it was a threat.
Yeah.
Okay, there was times that we had situations that I told Mr. Jackson, we have to leave this hotel. Um, the hotel has an emergency and all their power is going to be shut off real soon. And we don't want to be stuck here when it happens. And he said, "Oh, then we have to go." I said, "Yeah, I'm making arrangements now." But little did he know we were leaving this hotel because there were some credible threats taking place
Mm.
and we had to go. Um, so protecting him the best way I could was my job,
Totally.
was my focus, and I would have done anything probably to anyone that tried to interrupt the peace that we
Yeah.
tried to give him.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you mind me asking, how come only you and Javon wrote the book? Because weren't there like three main bodyguards at one point?
There was um, when we decided, but when I brought the idea to Javon and the other gentleman, when I brought the idea that I was going to write this book, um, and because I was the head of the security detail, and because I spoke to Mr. Jackson more often
Yeah,
than anyone else, I was more aware of a lot of things taking place. Um, Initially, I was going to write the book myself,
right.
but I decided to involve the other two gentlemen to certainly to back up my story or back up what we went through. They were there.
Yeah,
Um, but it comes a time when you have a focus for your project, and if everybody's not on board with the same focus and the same page, it's not going to work.
yeah,
Again, I wanted to write this book for his fans, to his fans. I will just say that others wanted to take it to a level to appease the world.
right.
Writing this book for and to his fan base already knows Mr. Jackson was innocent and all that bullshit that he was accused of. His fans know that. I don't have to convince them of that. Whether it's the tabloids, other media outlets, they need to be convinced. I'm not here, I'm
Yeah,
not trying to convince you of anything. If you don't already know, then it's not for you.
yeah,
Other individuals want to write things to try to convince the world of Mr. Jackson's character. That would take a lot of assumptions because
mm.
we weren't there for
Yeah,
for
yeah. I
that
see what
for
you
that
mean.
part. So you got me. We weren't there for that. I can't discuss
Yeah, you were only there for that
drugs,
small
kids. I can't.
part.
Yeah, I wasn't
Yeah,
there for that. But other individuals wanted to elaborate more on that, and I felt that wasn't the book or the project or the direction that I'm trying to go.
yeah,
And so we agreed to disagree,
yeah.
and I continued on with the way I felt the project was going to be done and written. And Javon agreed to that. And so Javon and I wrote the book.
And then it was turned into a wonderful film adaptation as well, where you got to
Yes.
sort of relive your memories on screen.
Yeah, it was we were surprised that it was picked up to be done as a movie.
Oh, so it wasn't
It
like pitched; it was just picked up, or
it was, I believe, my our publishers, our agent, he was shopping it
yeah,
for a movie. I was just happy with the book.
yeah,
I was happy putting it out there, which the book could have been, according to our ghostwriter, Tanner Colby, the book could have been an easily 700 page book, but he felt a book of that big is just, that's too much.
yeah,
Um, so the movie pitch thing, we were certainly surprised, and the actors, or the one that portrayed me. Well, first I sat down with the director and gave her my spiel and any questions she had, and then I would often talk to the actor Chad Coleman. Um, we would talk often about, he read the book, so he had questions on how to carry himself, mannerism, what to
yeah.
do, how, insecurity wise. So it was good, and I'm very very happy about that project.
I bet. Yeah. What's the greatest lesson you've learned from your time working with Michael Jackson?
For someone as big as he was, with so much going on, um, there were some moments where, listen to his conversations with his attorneys, he often questioned his financial status, where things were. Yes, there were times in which we were asked to leave hotels because the credit card on file was not going through. There were individuals responsible for handling Mr. Jackson's financial status, financial business.
Yeah.
Some individuals was not doing what they were supposed to do. Wasn't that he did not have money. Mr. Jackson could have never gone broke. Never.
Yeah.
But when you have individuals managing your money, and if they're not handling things the way they should be, things are going to happen. So the biggest thing that I've taken away from that was, no matter how much you have or how little you have, pay attention. No matter how big you get, um, don't allow anything to become big enough to where other individuals are so much in control of your finances that you forget, or you just totally put everything in their hands without
Yeah.
doing, and steady checks and balances yourself.
Yeah.
So um, certain lessons that I received from him: being humble, being appreciative, being thankful, and be careful who you trust.
Yeah.
But then again, that's somewhat been always been me, but
Yeah.
certainly a little more with him in mind, because for someone as big as he was to have gone through the things that he's gone through, it was incredible, and which stick with me to say that his passing, to me, when people often have asked me, what do I think killed Mr. Jackson? I say stress.
Mm.
That's what I say. Stress. A little bit of everything and a little bit of everybody. Definitely stress to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, what are you up to currently, and what are your future ambitions? Because I know you're promoting the book, so where can fans get a copy of that?
I I currently have a security company here in town. I have a private security company here in town, and that we do security at local events.
Yeah.
I have a team that does private security for different individuals that come in and out of town. I don't do the work directly myself much, but certain individuals that I'm personal friends with
Yeah.
will come to town and they'll call me, and I'll certainly be on um, be on point, for their safety, security, awareness. Um, the first Saturday of every month, we go out and we feed the homeless with all the proceeds from that coming from the book.
Wow.
So, and
Yeah,
we have
that's
to do
wonderful.
it. We have to do it on a sneak level, um, because I've already gotten fined twice. You're not supposed to feed the homeless.
Really?
It's just, yeah, it's just you can get. I've gotten fined twice, but that's okay. We still do it.
Yeah.
We don't do it. We don't do it during the day as we used to, because I used to do it Saturday mornings.
Yeah.
Give out breakfast sandwiches and some things to drink, but we try to keep it a little more low key. So we
Yeah.
do it, early evening, and we pass out food, drinks, water in the summertime, hot cocoa in the wintertime.
Mm.
It's nothing that we We photograph, we videotape,
Yeah.
because that's not how Mr. Jackson did it. I
Yeah.
personally witnessed him, in the same area which I'm distributing food. We took him, and he was talking to a lot of homeless individuals, asking them how they came about their situations. He passed out a lot of money, and no one knew.
Yeah.
There were no videos, nothing being filmed. I mean, these are homeless people. They're already down on their luck. They don't need to be seen
Mm.
um, being videotaped, taking handouts.
Yeah.
And again, the videotape that I bring with me is the memory one, the one that sticks in my memory. That we just knowing that we've did our part and did as much as we can do, for someone else. Because life
Yeah.
is not always about just you. Um, no matter how hurt you are or how down you are, there's always individuals doing a lot worse than you. So that's how I look at it. That is what I'm up to. I often say the journey continues, and it does. Um, you know, there's a little bit of Michael Jackson in all of us if we accept it, and he certainly remains a part of me
Yeah.
in doing what I do. Um, I've often said I protected him in life, and I'll continue to protect him in death. He was a good man. He was a good person, and and I'll always take that with me, no matter what anyone says.
Yeah.
So
That's really
yeah.
admirable. Yeah, absolutely. So, where can fans get a copy of the book so that the proceeds can go towards your cause?
Everyone can go to my webpage, www.rememberthetimebook.com.
And you get a copy like
You go to my
this?
page. It's great. Did you get an autographed copy?
I didn't. I got it
Oh,
years ago, like when I
oh,
first
okay.
became a fan.
Okay.
So,
Okay. Cool. Cool. All right. Well, on my page, I do sell autographed copies. We ship all over the world. Prior to people placing their order, they send me an email. Especially if they're from somewhere out of the country, they send me an email telling that they're looking to order the book, and I'll let them know exactly what the shipping fees will be. Okay,
right.
because it's hard. It's hard to really calculate that.
Yeah.
There is a one set. I mean, to ship out of the country, right now
Yeah.
is a straight fee is like $30, but some countries is not as much as others. So
Mm.
I'd appreciate people that do place the order, or I can email them and let them know what the shipping would be. But
Yeah.
you can always get an autographed copy that's directly from me. I sign, package it, and ship it myself. I don't have a team doing that. That is all me. So that is just I prefer it that way. When
Yeah.
I get an order, whether it's whoever the person's from, I certainly sign their name, and I let them know how appreciative I am of them supporting the cause because the journey continues.
Yeah.
And we will continue to strive and keep the legacy alive and keep it going.
Yeah.
Okay?
Absolutely.
www.rememberthetimebook.com.
Sounds good. And before we
Sure.
go, can I ask,
Sure.
have you met any of Michael's children since your time to protecting him? Because I know you go to a lot of events where you meet friends and such.
Yes, I have. It's been a couple of years um, that I seen Paris. I seen her here in Vegas. Um, Gave me the biggest hug ever. Um, yeah, I mean, so that was great. See them grown up is crazy. I'm
Yeah.
like, wow. Um, Prince, I did see him, I think, like 2 years ago at the Michael Jackson 1 anniversary show out here in Vegas. I do attend the show every year on his birthday, and Prince has been at the last 2 years, I believe. Um, so I certainly would see him and give him a hug, take a picture or two.
Yeah.
But what's just the one thing about the kids is that there's a lot they didn't know.
Mm.
All they knew was Bill was their dad's security. What I did, how I went about doing my job, the the threats and the things that was going on, they didn't know. Mr. Jackson didn't want them to know. They were kids, and he
Yeah.
wanted them to be kids and act as kids, and so we kept a lot away from them. So times I have seen them, unless they've seen the movie or read the book, they have no idea of what we did for their father. So, but it's always good to see them. It's always good to see that
Yeah.
they're growing, they're maturing, and they're going through life well.
Yeah.
They focus on their driven careers and things that they're trying to do for themselves. It's a good thing. It's a good
Absolutely.
thing.
Well, Bill, I can't thank you enough. Thank you so much for being here. I really, really appreciate it, for
Absolutely,
sharing such
absolutely.
honest, insightful, personal stories. So yeah, we really appreciate it.
Hey, I appreciate you reaching out and making it happen.
Absolutely. Well, I'll keep in touch, and everybody can buy
Absolutely.
your book at www.rememberthetimebook.com, correct?
Correct. Yes. Yes. Well, I'm on Facebook. Remember the Time Book. Facebook is Remember the Time Book. I'm on Instagram. Remember the Time Book. Um, so I'm trying to get it out there, trying to
Yeah,
continue, trying to conduct my professional and personal life, as well as continue to get this one going too.
absolutely.
But I want to continue the journey and continue to get the word out there for those that haven't got the book yet.
Yeah,
I highly encourage them to get it.
so do
They
I.
will
It's
not.
a great
I don't
read.
think they will not be disappointed.
No, it's a great one. Thank you so much, Bill. Take care.
Absolutely. You got it. You take care.